Hello learners! In this video, we will be discussing about research designs. Let's begin with the concept of research design. Once the research problem is identified and objectives or research questions are clearly stated, the next course of action for the researcher is to work on the research design. A research design is a complete plan, structure, and strategy of the research. It outlines the process, techniques of data collection, and data analysis. It is concerned with decisions regarding what, when, where, how much, and by what means the research will be conducted. Let's try to understand the meaning of research design by discussing a few expert viewpoints. In the words of David J. Luck and Roland S. Rubin, a research design is a determination and statement of the general research approach or strategy adopted for a particular project. It is the heart of planning. If the design adheres to the research objectives, it will ensure that the client's needs are served. In the words of Green and Tull, a research design is a specification of methods and procedures for acquiring the information needed. It is overall operational patterns or framework of the project that stipulates what information is to be collected from which sources and by what procedure. Similarly, how the acquired information will be analyzed. In the words of Zygmunt, a research design is a framework or a blueprint for conducting the marketing research project. It details the procedures necessary for obtaining the information needed to structure or solve the research problems. In a research design, the following questions are usually addressed. Where would the study be conducted? What type of data is required? Where can the required data be found? And what is the time period of study? What would be the sample design? What techniques of data collection would be used? And how would data be analyzed? All these questions may be split into the following categories, like sample design, that deals with sampling and planning, observational design, that deals with conditions of observation, statistical design, that deals with obtaining and analyzing information, and operational design, that deals with the techniques of carrying research design discussed in subsequent paragraphs. Now let's have an insight into the various components of a research design. Various components of a research design are sampling design, variable, data collection methods, and data analysis. Sampling design is a section where researchers explain the target population, sample size, sampling techniques, and any other method for the determination of sample size. Variable. Here, the researcher will define the variables to be used in the study. A variable is a parameter that possesses numerical values and keeps on changing. For example, age, gender, GDP, income, etc. Various types of variables are used by the researcher. These include the dependent variable, independent variable, extraneous variables, control variables, etc. A dependent variable is a variable that is affected by independent variable and the researcher may control it. For example, in a given case, yield per hectare will be a dependent variable if the impact of rain on it is measured. An independent variable is the variable that causes a change in the dependent variable, such as rain in the earlier example. Extraneous variables are those variables which are not directly related to research. However, they may affect the independent variables. Control variables are the variables that minimize the effect of extraneous variables on the research study. Treatment is a variable which can be manipulated by the researcher to see their impact on the dependent variable. The next component of a research design is the data collection methods. The next component of the research design is the data collection methods. This includes the methods to be used by the researcher for the data collection, such as survey methods, interview methods, and focus group methods, etc. The next component is the data analysis. It includes the statistical methods to be used for the analysis purpose. Usually, researchers use descriptive or inferential statistics for data analysis. Let's now discuss the characteristics of a research design. Generally, a good research design minimizes bias and maximizes the reliability of data collected and analyzed. Thus, the question of a good design is related to the purpose or objective of research problem and also with the nature of the problem to be studied. A good research design should satisfy four main conditions, that is, objectivity, reliability, validity, and generalization. Objectivity means that the findings obtained by the research should be objective. It is possible by allowing more than one person to agree between the final scores or the conclusion of the research. Reliability means if the similar research is carried out time and again in a similar setting, it must give similar results. So, the researcher must frame the research questions to make it reliable and provide similar outcomes. Validity means that any measuring device can be said to be valid if it measures what it is expected to measure and nothing else. To make a research valid, the questionnaire framed before the research must be framed accordingly. Generalization means that the information collected from the given sample must be utilized for providing a general application to the large group of which the sample is drawn. Thus, a good research design is the one which is methodologically prepared and should ensure important aspects like: number 1. The measuring instrument can yield objective, reliable, and valid data. Number 2. The population is clearly defined. Third, most appropriate techniques of sample selection are used to form an appropriate sample. Fourth, appropriate statistical analysis has been carried out. And fifth, the findings of the study is capable of generalizations. So learners, in this video, you learned what is a research design, its components, and its characteristics. Thank you.